Hello!
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey there.
Oh, hi.
Uh,
How's it going?
it's a little late starting this Minecraft Monday stream.
Yeah, just a tad.
It's Friday.
Hmm. Better late than never, though.
Yeah, we got all set up to stream on Monday, and then some other stuff came up. So we decided about Wednesday that we'd actually do the stream tonight. We weren't
Yeah.
talking until other stuff occurred in between, but we figured that we didn't actually have a stream planned for tonight.
So why not make it Minecraft?
So let's do some Minecraft, and we can not miss a Monday or a week.
Yeah.
I did do some work on Monday.
Cool.
Um,
What did you get up to?
I largely, and it's difficult work to show off, because if you come with me over to the Bumbling Monk, I way overshot where the teleporter is for that. So for a start, I've continued to work on the mead.
Okay.
So we are now getting mead production up and running.
So you're up to...
We're up to 0.8 at the moment.
Okay. Cool, that's going well.
I need to double check why there's not more honey in there at the moment, though, because I think something's gummed up with my works down here. But also, I went round and upgraded all of the flux ducts. So all of the flux ducts are now at resonant tier.
I have to say, every time you say duct, my brain hears duck. So currently I'm seeing some kind of high-tech duck running all over the place.
So I've got some real high-tech ducts.
Yep.
Because, and this is the main reason. One, I kind of felt a bit bad because we'd left this place in a bit of a tip, and we'd not given it the love it really deserved, and sort of we'd left holes in the floor. So I filled in all the holes in the floor. We've got a nice consistent floor, like you can walk over here without fear of just treading on cables.
Or falling into the lower basement. Or a cave? There's something down there, wasn't there?
So that's one step of the process.
Don't mind me. It's just such a good tune. So is the honey less gummed up now?
Yes.
What was gum in it?
Not 100% sure.
Fair. Seems fairly standard with Minecraft these days.
I've also set it up so that these steam dynamos, these 4 steam dynamos, are top tier steam dynamos.
Okay.
So they're currently outputting 120 RF a tick each into
Sweet.
this energy cell that goes back into our main power grid. They should be running pretty much constantly because they run on water and coal or charcoal,
Which we've
got a butt ton of.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a backup. It should be enough in theory to most of the time power our network. I also just keep throwing my sword at the ground.
I mean, that's one place to store it, but it isn't very helpful when
not
you need
ideal.
to kill things.
But the main reason I updated all of the ducts is that there are a number of tiers of flux duct, and each of them
Yeah.
get progressively better at transferring power.
Mm-hmm.
I.e., they have a higher maximum limit.
Oh, okay.
So you start out with a hardened, then you go up to... You start out with just flux duct, I think it is.
So it's the maximum they can transfer a minute.
Yeah. So yeah, you start out with...
So 100.
You start out with a leadstone flux duct that does 1,000 RF per tick.
Mm-hmm.
You go up to a hardened, which is 4,000 RF per tick. You then have to change how you make them,
Right.
but you then go up to the redstone energy flux duct, which does 9,000 per tick.
Okay.
Then the signalum, which is 16,000 per tick.
Mm-hmm.
Resonant, which is what these are, which is 25,000 per tick.
Sweet.
And then a step up from that, you take your resonant flux duct,
Yeah.
you put it in a special cryo-chilled outer casing,
Mm-hmm.
and it has infinite.
Wow. So boop and it's there.
So it just transfers infinite RF per tick. There is no limit.
Yeah. So if you were to suddenly attach a battery to the system, it would just clear the lot in one hop.
Assuming that there's no output limit on the thing you're attaching to the system,
Yeah.
it will take out all of it.
Wow.
There is no limit in the cable. The only limit is whatever you attach the cable to.
Okay.
So one of the main reasons I want that is the reactor.
Yeah.
Because the reactor both uses and requires vast sums of power. It uses them to maintain the force field that stops it from blowing up and killing everybody, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And it also
Cool.
outputs vast sums of RF. And I don't want to waste them by having sat in the reactor not getting out.
Yeah, that's fair.
So if we hook it up with cryo-stabilized flux ducts, the Draconic reactor can just instantly bump all of that power into our network.
Nice.
And also into itself to maintain the force field that stops it from, killing us.
Yeah, I'd quite like to not get killed. If that's a possibility.
It's definitely something I'm working on. So that's what I did Monday. I went round, I fixed up that basement, I upgraded all of the ducts, I covered everything up. That basement is now pretty dang high tech compared to where we were at.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that's cool.
the next step of the process is we're going to build a high-tech facility to store our Draconic stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's a couple of rooms.
I'm gonna get the train.
I'll see you back there then. I think it's a couple of rooms. Because it would be nice to have sort of separate rooms rather than, like, the factory's nice and I like the factory for what it is and being able to see everything. But I think the Draconic testing facility, DTF, should be compartmentalized.
Okay.
I mean, granted, one of those is a big honking room for the Orb of Energy,
Yeah.
and another is a decent-sized room in which to put the Draconic Evolution reactor. And the third is a nice room to put the Draconic Evolution fusion crafting in. Which I think is actually technically the smallest room we need. So I'm going to start off by getting the Draconic... Oh, slight spoilers. I'm going to get the energy stuff built. Because we need 1 energy core and 4 energy core stabilizers. Wait, we're missing sulfur?
How the hell are we missing sulfur? Is that a nether only?
It's a byproduct.
Did we have any bees that made it?
Pardon?
We didn't have any bees that made sulfur.
No. It's what we're using at the moment to get blaze rods.
Oh no, it's phosphor that I was thinking of. I knew there was something that ended in a...
Fur.
Yeah, similar kind of way.
Do we have an extractor?
An extractor for...
Industrial craft. Don't think we do. No.
Nope.
Is that a possibility? It's a power tier 1. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I'm going to build us an extractor.
Cool. Can sulfur be found in world? Do they spell it the American way?
Yeah, U-L-F-U-R.
An F, not a PH.
Doesn't look like it.
people.
You can find clouds of it. I believe clouds of it form in the nether,
Oh, okay.
which you can break and turn into...
Well, you can pulverise it out with some stuff.
I think that's mostly how we've been getting it, as a side product of other stuff, which is why we've not had an issue with it up until now.
Yeah.
What's a tree tap cost? Not a lot.
Oh, you can stick pyrotheum dust in a centrifugal separator.
Sadly, pyrotheum dust, I believe, is the thing that I'm trying to build with
Yeah.
the sulfur. I think that's kind of a cyclic process.
Oh, apatite going through a sag mill. Apatite ore kicks it out. Netherrack. Coal can kick it out as well. If you put coal through a sag mill, you get pulverized coal and sulfur. The more you know.
And then I want some gunpowder.
Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna go clear some trees.
How short are we?
I had to fight so hard not to make a pun then. I hope you appreciate that I tried. Because it was terrible.
Okay, I'm just going to go to the nether and find some blazes. So this is a bit of wall I was working on. Facility. For anybody watching along at home.
Bit of colour scheme going on.
The colour scheme is white.
Yeah, much more
Clinical
high-techy.
white. So I'm just going to pop this against...
Casual.
Pop this against this tree. Hey, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
It's a Minecraft Mon Friday. So this is the energy core itself.
Okay.
And with this, we can turn on the build guide.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how big the full-size one is.
Okay, that's really tripping out, and I can see inside it.
You kind of have to back up until you can see the outside, and it still sort of trips out a bit because it's telling you, hey, all of this ground shouldn't be here.
I can see like the in.
Yeah.
I can't see any of the external blocks. I can only see the internal.
The problem is like those ones that you can see through it.
Mm-hmm.
Are it telling you this is wrong, this isn't the right block. So it's where it's intersecting with the ground and that tree I put it against.
So am I reading this right as being 13 by 13?
Yes, and then you need to go another 2 or 3 out from that for the energy core stabilizers.
So if I aim for 17 by 17 internal?
That sounds good.
Okay. And that block goes in the very middle, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I believe 30, yeah, and also that height. Because orb. Do you want to take this block?
Can do.
Partially because I'm going to the nether and don't want to lose it. And also because if you finish...
Yeah, that's fair.
If you finish building out the room, you can just whack it in the centre. How you doing on Friday, Jeff?
How is this Friday treating you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Woo!
What are you up to tonight, Jeff? Ooh, found a quick trade route in Elite.
Ooh, nice.
$9.2 million every few minutes.
Holy pants.
That is a nice trade route. Come on, Blazers. Here, blazy, blazy, blazes.
I think my ears are broken.
Yeah.
I heard you say blazers. Like, why the hell are you looking for jackets in the Nether?
I mean, they are truly hellish.
They're not pleasant. That is damn sure.
I assume they were required secondary school wearing around your way.
Yeah, and the arsehole teachers made it so that we weren't allowed to choose when we took it on and off. We had to have it specifically said that the day was hot enough for us to not wear one.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's just rude, really, isn't it?
Stop throwing your equipment on the ground, you damn fool. I mean, at least with us, like, you could take your blazer off. You had to have it with you, I think, all the time.
Oh yeah, we'd get sent home if we didn't have it with us.
I mean, the worst was that the uniform required black trousers in terms of heat. Jeff says, same with his school. Which part that you couldn't take it off? In some you might be allowed to take it off. Oh.
Yeah, we had to have a specific from the headmaster, or headmistress actually, saying, yeah, you can take it off. It's been deemed hot enough.
Jesus.
So to say I hated blazers for someone who does not temperature control very well is an understatement.
Yeah, that's fair.
They were great for having all sorts of snacks in, though.
It turns out the blazes drop sulfur.
Oh, sweet.
But also blaze rods, which is what I was using the sulfur to make, so...
So I'm thinking that it would be quite cool to be able to see into the building from the outside.
Okay.
And see the dome of the power.
Makes sense.
So I'm thinking of sinking it maybe sort of 2 or 3 into the ground so that when you look in, you get a good view of the height. And kind of as you get close to the edge, you can see that it curves down underneath.
I can hear a blaze shooting me, but I don't see it.
Slightly disconcerting.
It's also not able to hit me from wherever it has spawned. It's trying its dangdest.
It's giving it beans.
Wherever it happens to be stuck.
Wherever it's stuck, beans are being fired. No, hands. Learn to click properly. I think really I'm just in Minecraft for the building. The surviving bit really doesn't do anything for me.
I mean, it's certainly a fine piece of the Minecraft to be around for.
Like, I was thinking about it the other day, because people play Minecraft so differently to each other.
It is the wonderful thing about it.
Yeah. So some people it is all about that sort of surviving and just digging up everything and going out and doing all the battling and stuff, whereas I just like to build. I'm quite happy for a fight, and I quite like a good sorting system.
Yes.
Like, I really liked the old school tubes with the, was it diamond pipes for splitting them off?
Yeah, that was the old school Buildcraft. I've been watching a series recently, and it's made me realise how much I miss logistic pipes.
Yeah.
So basically, logistics pipes was that sort of diamond sorting system, but on steroids.
Oh, okay.
So like you could do full sorting systems with your tube network, and you'd be able to do things like have crafting automated. You could set it up so that it, like, you'd have a couple of different item sync options. So you'd have things like you could have it mod based, so you could have like a chest of, this is my thermal expansion chest, if anything comes into the network that's thermal expansion, it goes in this chest.
Oh, that's cool.
Or you could have the polymorphic item sync, which was basically if this item is in the chest already, we can put more in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of, and then you could have just ones that were like, you know, if we tell you what to, if this has this item in the item sync, it can go in here.
Mm-hmm.
Or just set that to, if we've not told you you can go anywhere else in the network, you can go into this chest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you could build insane setups of, I've just thrown my sword at the blazes.
Interesting setup choice.
Proving that I am, of course, in Minecraft solely for the fighting. You could have massive pipe networks and watch everything fly around and like ask for insanely difficult crafting items to be crafted, and you'd see all of the raw materials flow out of your chests into the relevant machines to be crafted.
Oh, that's cool.
And like, I know people, you know, like Chris, who would cover up all their pipes, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to cover them, but with glass, so I can see the stuff floating through the network.
Yeah, I'd want whole, like, walls of just stuff whizzing places. And if anything, I think I'd almost be inclined to get things to go a long, convoluted way round.
Well, the
for,
thing
like,
is,
the basic processing.
like, you could have, like, you know, we've got that wall of the crafting machines.
Yeah.
The crafters. You'd have a wall of those, because basically the mod had a crafting table.
Yeah.
It was like the logistics crafting table. So when you were doing a craft that was just chuck items in a crafting table, you would have one of those, and it would have one recipe in it.
Oh, okay.
And so you would, you'd have this massive wall of crafting tables for every single different crafting item craft, like a simple crafting table item to craft. And so you'd have this long, convoluted route that your items would need to flow through it. But also, because it was optical pipes that were running it, the pipes would send it the best possible route through. I mean, I gotta say, I am definitely not as skilled a builder as some people. There is definitely something I do like about setting up systems inside, like making it work in such a way that it fits with what's there. And also being able to do things like I did on Monday, where it was just a case of sit around and craft the items and replace the wiring and cover it all up. And, like, make the thing that someone else has made look nice in the first place, and then it's gone the opposite direction and we've messed it up.
And then returning it back to...
making it back to nice again, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, I'm back from the Nether.
Hey up.
And I've got myself some energy core stabilizers.
Nice. So that will be where the thing is. And I'm thinking the stabilizers need to go on the same level
Yes.
as this. So if the stabilizer was here, the block would go in this hole here, yeah?
Yeah.
So if I put that in.
Shall I clear out this
Yeah, I can do.
dirt?
Mm-hmm. Actually, you might want to set up the thing to show the space so you can see what it looks like from the outside, just to check we're happy with the height. Might be another... He is going to be right up to the edges of the thing. There doesn't need to be a space, does there? Or does there?
No, I don't think so. Like, we can put the advanced energy cores stabilizers up against this wall.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
okay.
we don't, because they'll be down at this level. So yeah, we'll put them in down there.
Yeah. So when you're stood outside, you'll be able to see the top sort of dome and the pathway around the sides.
Yeah, I think that works.
Cool.
If I can find the middle again, I'll turn this back down to... What's tier 3? Tier 3's not too bad.
So what tier was that up to?
So that's up to tier 8, which is the maximum.
Okay.
which I highly doubt, you know.
Yeah, which we're not likely to get to, but always good to have room for.
Yeah, like it's
That's what I like with that particular mod, and there's some other mods that do it. They tell you the maximum size you're going to need.
yes.
It isn't a lot to ask for.
I quite like
so many mods don't do it.
I do quite like the building guide for this as well.
Yeah.
Like, it works a lot better than some other building guides.
Just trying to figure out some nice pattern to give this a bit of something in here.
I mean, you're welcome to chisel those laboratory blocks into other... Like, there are a couple of others.
I really like the white. I think that's really nice. I'm just trying to figure out whether there's... What do you think to this edge here that I'm just putting in?
Yeah, that looks good.
Just gives it a bit of like a... bit of something, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. And then that would just fill in underneath it. So it's almost like they are light panels.
Yeah.
Well, this thing, it glows, doesn't it? I think these core stabilizers need to be one further out. So they need to attach to that block, therefore.
Oh, they need to be that block.
Yeah. Just to make sure we've definitely got space. Probably should have made that slightly clearer.
Actually,
Does it have to be a square space, or can it be rounded?
I think for now I'll leave it like this, and then we can move them out when we upgrade to the tier that needs advanced stabilizer.
Yeah, that's cool. Because we're just on a normal stabilizer at the minute, aren't we?
Yeah. I think it's up to tier 4, just takes the standard stabilizer, and then you go up to the advanced stabilizer, which is 9 of these each.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's how much draconium? 9 there, 9 there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 times 9 times 9 is that much, minus 1, okay, 27.
I have no idea what maths was just happening then, but it sounded too much like maths.
It was 9 times 3 minus 1.
Okay.
Which I realised now I could have done a much easier way of... So I need draconium blocks, which I can get from placing 9 draconium in a block shape.
So what size are you wanting the other rooms, John?
I think the fusion crafting room can be a 9x9.
9x9, okay.
Because it just needs to be like the fusion stabilizer in the middle of the room and the crafting things on the outer sides.
Okay.
For the reactor room, I'm not 100% sure because I don't actually remember how big a space the reactor requires.
And can I do a domed roof over this reactor or not?
Over the...
Over the bubble?
Yeah.
Because I think I'm going to have to. The bubble's talking to me. But like a... how to describe it? The shape you get when two half tubes cross each other. So they kind of have pointed corners.
Okay.
But they follow the curve. I think that's the kind of size I want to do. So if I click tear up
Yes.
on this core, so if I tear it right way up, I just have had like a thought that it would be really cool. And it kind of now makes me think, well, why the hell not? That one. That one. 3. Up 1. Yes. Okay. Trying really hard not to just sit and randomly camp. Because it really doesn't help anyone know what I'm actually doing.
So apparently we're going to need to go fight the Chaos Dragon.
Oh. Okay.
Three times.
Huh. Good job, we've got this decent armor.
Hopefully that'll be enough.
Take all of the food with you. Okay. Okay, I've got it back to the tier it should be. Just as Dwagon?
Technically the Guardian. It's called the Guardian, but it's effectively the Ender Dragon, but bigger. I know Sean just spent a lot of time saying how much he's not in Minecraft for the fighting.
But I'm going to be required for some fighting.
I wouldn't mind some backup.
Okay.
I am liking the look of that roof.
So it's going to kind of... Oh, spider's following you, John.
Hey, hey.
So it kind of ends up curvy, kind of not. I don't know how it's going to look though. I might need to do some chiseling bits, edges on it. Because glass reacts in a really funny way that drives me bananas.
Oh,
no,
Duncan.
that's not too bad. Yeah? Is it pro maths?
I did 9 times 3 and then forgot to take the 1 away.
Oh.
But on the other hand, I've got an orb.
Hey! We like a good orb.
So I'm looking.
What do you think to that, John?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, that's the answer to our roofing requirements then. Either that, or I smash this out. Oh.
Well, that was interesting.
Is that I should be slightly worried interesting, or actually pretty interesting? Interesting.
I managed to break one of the blocks that's in the multi-block while breaking the ground under it.
Well, slightly worrying.
Luckily, this isn't the multi-block that explodes horribly if it goes wrong, so we can all be thankful for that. So I'm looking at this reactor. I
feel like there's an and about to plop into existence.
So I go with a so then. So if this is the center block.
Now you're just looking at dirt. Yeah.
You go out from it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
And then you have a block of the field stabilizer.
Yeah.
And then it looks like there's a like the field stabilizer is 2 blocks deep. Possibly that's because there's a flux gate thing on it that's the thing that allows it to take so much power.
So you're saying we'll need to push the wall back? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, this is for the room that hasn't been built yet.
Oh, okay. So the same goes out that way as well?
Yeah. So basically, that's the reactor.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes outside and side as well. So we might we might need some space around the edge of this.
Well, so we'll just build the same as this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be as tall as that room.
No, but it would be kind of cool if it was. But there's no reason why we couldn't.
We don't need to sink it into the ground.
The other
maybe.
bit that you needed. Yeah. But we could still do the domed roof, and we could just put the floor into where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like your plan to me. What I want to do is to have, like, I think stairs down here. No, it needs to come back a bit more. There. Yeah. So this will be how you get down into this room.
Okay.
Which leaves room for us to figure out where the other door needs to go depending on the floor level of the dome. We'll call it Dome 2.
I mean, that's a good name for the second dome.
Didn't want to make it, you know, too confusing.
It's very engineering.
Yeah.
In its naming. We used to have one of the lecturers at uni was an engineer, and said engineers were the best things ever, and that they always named things so easily that you could understand what a thing was because an engineer had named it.
Yeah. I can totally see why. But there's no good making it a confusing name, because people will just boil it down to something else anyway. We had a building at school that's initials was what we ended up knowing it by.
Right.
Because it just had it was the Michael Caddy building, but it also had a whole load of other stuff that went in it. So it's just like, oh yeah, I'm going to go over to MC.
Jeff
so it's
says,
like, you know, you can give it a name, but we're not going to use it.
Jeff says that's because the engineer themselves would forget what it was for.
Exactly. Which is why I always used to use really pretty standard naming conventions for the files, like when I was at LHC. If not, it would be like view 8, because it would be the 8th view that went on the sheet. There's no point overcomplicating life.
Oh god, I'm stuck in cables.
No, don't be stuck in cables. It's not good for your health.
I've managed to unstick myself from the cables.
Hey. Okay. Okay, this building just requires some glass. The factory?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I am going to put one pylon here. And one pylon here.
What are they for?
They put the power into and pull the power out of the orb.
Oh, okay.
And then I think, do I just hit you with a Yeta wrench?
No, don't hit me.
Do I hit you with a Yeta wrench? Yes, I do. So you can be the input pylon, and you can be the output. No, you can be the input pylon, and you can be the output pylon. Because then you are close to where we're going to put Dome 2.
What was the count I required? 19.
Hungry.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now run the diagonal to make sure that I got a square. Yeah. Indeedy do, I did.
And so if you are outputting...
That's the least county way of having to check that it's square. Sorry, olive tree, but you gotta go.
Actually... I can do that, and it looks good.
Oh, cool.
So if I take that away... I can put the flux things underneath and hide them. And then it just looks like sparkly orbs of power.
Yeah. And really, you can't be a good sparkly orb of power.
And so that sparkly orb of power is getting 9,000 RF per tick plus. And so all I need to do now is go and check that there wasn't anything plugged in.
That there wasn't anything plugged in?
Plugged into the flux thing.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't appear there was, because it's not outputting any power, and if it was outputting any power, something would be draining on it.
Yeah.
So what I can do is break these and that window.
I'm not taking the window with you again, John.
Probably another window. Yep, that window too. Sean, I broke a window.
Okay, I'll go fix it.
Thank you, Sean.
There you go, you got the basis of your next building.
And now it's got a 100,000 RF per tick deficit.
Wow.
Because that's as fast as this thing can output power.
It's crazy.
So I'm just throwing all of that energy into the Giganto Orb.
Yeah. Oh, poor glass windows. Bash about.
They break so easily.
Yeah.
Ow!
Yeah, it's got windows the whole way around that thing, hasn't it?
No. It's missing.
But nothing spawning on top. Where's the where were you getting shot from? Outside.
Somebody wandered in. I didn't see whether they came in through the door or through a window.
Okay.
They were inside.
Okay, yeah, they must have just strolled in then. What mahoosive jerks. There's a spider currently residing in the other building.
Wonder about taking the nuclear reactor up a couple of levels.
Will we need to?
Probably not.
So are we going to leave the nuclear reactor running as well?
Yeah.
And just when it has power, it can do what it do.
I think I found out what the main problem with our nuclear reactor running out of energy was.
Right.
Or something else I may have worked out on Monday. So I was in our base looking at stuff.
Yeah.
That I don't normally look at, because normally when we're streaming, you know, I'm doing stuff. And I noticed items weren't coming in from the mine.
Oh.
I thought, that's a little odd.
It is.
And I realised that, oh boy. I realised that our miner out in the mining dimension
Yeah.
was on a chunk boundary. And I think
So it wasn't a loaded chunk?
what had happened is I loaded the chunk next to the chunk the miner was in.
Okay. Well, that's a bit of a pain in the butt.
So I moved
But you fixed it now.
I fixed it, and it looks like we've been getting in decent resources from the miner. I'm just going to go and double check how it's doing. And if it's still doing. It doesn't appear to be doing anymore.
Has it finished its chunk?
It appears to be finished its shape, so let's see if I can just...
Give it a new one.
Give it a new one. $38. So I make that 76. Yep. That started another big hole in the mining dimension.
Cool. Can't decide what kind of door we need, John. I'm just gonna have to go with ebony. Because I think it will look good on the dark.
That's fair.
That'll do.
There is something incredibly
well, that side
satisfying.
is secure from the door anyway.
Yeah, there is something incredibly satisfying about this miner just running.
Yeah. Is it 2, 3, 5? That's 2 spiders I've saved today. One in Minecraft and one IRL. He was the IRL one was trotting across my wall the other night, and I did not take kindly to his presence. So I trapped him in a pint glass. Kept him for like a couple of days, just, you know, teach him a lesson. And then I just came back out.
Right, once this hits bedrock, I'm heading back to the base.
Okie dokes. I'm trying to get the lid on this building before you come back, in the hopes that then there'll at least be spiders in there for you. Because of how the curves are designed, the spiders can't, once they get in, get back out again.
Joy.
So I had to let him out. So you should be good now. It's all clear. You gotta use the front door because the glass is on the roof.
Oh yeah, those are a good looking door.
Kind of fits the sort of high-techy, modern aesthetic.
The high-techy, modern, current greenhouse.
Yeah. It's only a greenhouse because I want to see in. You know?
Fair.
Want to have a nosy.
So I think at the moment we've got 6,000. Yeah, we've got 6,500 RF a tick.
Okay.
Going into the orb.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to what is being used at the moment for everything, such as the miner running, the presumably as the miner is now running, the processing machines are also running. Let me double check that. Yep. Processing is going nuts right now.
So we're on a positive.
So we're on a positive with everything running at the moment.
Awesome. That's really cool. And we've not even got the new power in.
Yeah. I mean, it will be a little while before we do get that new power in.
Yeah, but it means we're all
But it
we're
means
not
we're good.
pushed for like needing to prioritize it. We are good and sound.
I'm wondering if this system can't actually keep up with the amount of ores that are coming in at the moment.
Something we could look into post stream.
Yeah,
maybe.
I might switch this up to a system I've used before with the thermal machines.
Right.
Because the thermal machines fit together closer a lot nicer than the Ender IO ones do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as nice as the Ender IO ones are, and they are very good for what they do sort of early game. I think there is something to be said for being able to have about 4 machines stacked up right in the same space, which might be what we need right now.
Yeah.
So that might be, I'll quickly whip up 4 pulverizers and 4 redstone furnaces. Between sessions or before Monday, and just have that system running by Monday.
Yeah, sounds good.
But yeah, I think we are at a nice point to wrap it all up. And it's of course raining again.
I've just put the these stairs in. They haven't actually got steps yet though. Do need to look into that, but they are. You can now come in and walk down.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, this looks fancy. I like it.
Yeah? The sort of high-tech feeling you were going for?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Plane 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. Now you've got stairs.
Now proper stairs.
Yep. Had to finish with some of those proper stairs. Whether we have a doorway through here into this room or whether we come through here doesn't matter. We've got the 2 height options when we know how this is working in here.
Yeah. I mean, actually, what you could do is, could we have the fusion crafting room sort of under that room?
Yeah. Potentially, yeah.
So that you have the door here to fusion crafting and this room for the reactor.
Yeah, that could work. there is. It might need to go up a step to do that, or down a step.
I'd say maybe if we go down into the fusion crafting.
Yeah, we can do that.
So like this. Yeah.
A downer.
Especially now that you've got the fancy stairs. Shame not to use them.
Yeah, I mean they literally took like seconds to put together, but you know.
Now that you've got the fancy stairs, we're going to use them.
They're not that fancy. But yeah, that works. That's cool.
So yeah, we've got a fancy draconic testing facility. On Monday, I guess the next step is fusion crafting.
Yeah. We're looking pretty solid for that.
So we need to get we'll need to get crystal energy down here because it needs a butt ton of power to fusion craft. But we can do that nice and easily.
Mm-hmm.
And then we actually need to do some fusion crafting to make the fusion crafters, to make the better fusion crafters that will need to make the better fusion crafting stuff.
Sweet.
So we'll
sounds like we've got a plan.
We'll do some fusion crafting to make the fusion crafting stuff. We need to make stuff with fusion crafting.
Weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah. It's an interesting way of it doing. But we'll look into getting it going. And then we'll be a step closer to the draconic reactor and hopefully not having it go thermonuclear on us.
Yeah, I realised this stuff is quite close to our base, so we'll just have to be careful.
I mean, my plan is to not explode, but on the other hand, Are we
blaming Michael if it does?
Yes.
Yeah?
I also don't think either of us are going to be too upset at the moment because we're looking at stopping this server anyway.
Yeah.
So I think if it did explode, it's a nice rounding off point for the series.
That is true. Though I'm not going to buy that if it just all goes and you just sit there and go, whoops.
I don't want it to. I'm heavily on record. I want to see it run properly. But as Jeff says, explosion is good content, and if it does go off, it causes the end to the series anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, the trains are doing that for us anyway, so you know, we're getting that way.
So I think what we'll do is Monday will be this for definite. We'll do the fusion crafting. Possibly the Monday after that, we might start to alternate.
Okay.
And do 1 week of this and 1 week of the new mod pack, which I think is called Life in the Village. Because we're going to have a simple life in the village, being villagers and leading a community. And we're not going to have a lot of mods that I'm used to, which is going to be fun and exciting for me. There's
be an interesting one.
There's going to be a lot of building to do, which will be.
They have chisel and bits.
Yes.
Whoa!
I'm fairly certain that I made sure that it had chisel and bits for reasons. But also, what it does have is other builders, in the sense that we get villagers who will build things for us as well.
Sweet.
So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if
Yeah.
you haven't done so already, please do hit that follow button. It's a great way for you guys to know when we go live, and a completely free way that you can support the channel. If you are watching this as a replay on YouTube, you don't know that this wasn't recorded on a Monday, except for all of the obvious references that we've made to it not being recorded on a Monday. But do hit the subscription button and the bell down below. We have got the following streams coming up. On Sunday, it's time for the Clash of the Cult crew to try and find Palarandusk. They're going in search of a golden dragon known by the name of the Unseen Protector in a dwarven mining city, a gnomish mining city of Ithrimbil. So stay tuned to see how well that hunt goes. On Monday, we'll be doing fusion crafting, as we've said. Tuesday next week, we'll be back on the high seas looking at the Seabound Soul, which is the next and second to last of the Tall Tales.
Ooh, yeah.
On Thursday next week, it is Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines with Jennifer, or the Angel Games Player, over on the Angel Games Player channel. And then Friday next week, it is Space Odysseus The War of Worlds. The A-Team continues, and I don't 100% know what we're doing. It is... yeah, we'll see how that goes. Jeff asks, will Seabound Soul go better than the Tales up till now, or even the Tall Tales?
Probably not, no. Knowing us. But we've succeeded at each of them, despite the issues we've had. We have not given up, and that's the important thing.
We've not given up, we've persevered. We have succeeded in all of them. And some of us are pirate legends now.
Yeah! Indeed. Can't think who that would be.
No. So yeah, on Friday next week we'll be doing Space Odysseus, the War of Worlds, where I think last time we were on Selrig and we killed off another Shadow Mark. So we've killed off all the Shadow Marks we currently know the location of. Might need to find another one.
Maybe they'll have some spares somewhere for you.
Someone will know. We'll keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, I'm going to throw a raid at Aravel, who is playing the Dark Side Detective.
Ooh.
As Aravel does puzzle games on a Friday night. And we will see you real soon. For now, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you later.
Bye!